back for another Dev Diary entry. So what we got today is one of many fixes I've been doing recently. The rest of the Pixelmon development team have been working hard on a bunch of other bugs, and I'll get to those either this episode or in a big update episode. So what I've been working on is fixing a lot of the issues with different Pokemon and setting some riding presets and stuff like that for some. So Metagross, no one used to be able to ride Metagross before. And now you can now ride Metagross as well as fly him. And now he has his hover mode. So his legs are outstretched like that, so you can fly around just like he looks like in the TV show and different Battle Coliseum games. And he'll land and switch to walking. And so we got him centered out, and there's a couple other Pokemon who have weird riding positions that I'm currently working on in the database. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of a update and that things are coming along. We should hopefully have a lot of more bugs fixed for release, so who knows when that could be. Alright, hello and welcome back. So another one of the riding fixes that I've been working on. Dragonite. Used to be you were like sitting off on the side of his head when you were riding him. And now you're squarely on top. And then Onix used to be really, really badly messed up. You used to ride Onix about 15 feet in the air over the middle of his body. And now, when you click him to ride, well, you're now normally located. You should be over all the way up his head. So apparently I still haven't gotten that bug completely fixed. Because his head's the only part of his body that's actually stationary when he's moving, so you should be sitting on it. Alright, I will make sure to get that fixed. Alright, here is another spawning bug. So we actually see a very rare land Dratini. So Dratinis are not supposed to be land spawns, they're supposed to actually be spawning in water. Think when I was doing an overhaul of the entire Pokédex worth of spawn locations, I may have skipped Dratini because it didn't actually say water type. I might not have paid as much attention to that. So I think we've got it spawning on land when it should spawn in the water. So we'll get that fixed up as well. That's another little bug to show you guys. So as you can see, now it looks like you should actually be riding him just like you normally would, and it doesn't sit there and have all of the ridiculous shaking that it normally... Well, there's a little bit of shaking because the model's a little bit off-center, but it's a lot better than it was before, and he is just booking it across these plains. He's one of the fastest land Pokemon right now, I think. Alright, see you on the next bug. Alright, welcome back with another bug. So this one deals with spawning the Porygon line. So I showed you the flying Porygon last time. And so now this one is a little bit different. We were trying to fix up a different issue. And it is... with a Y, there we are. So Porygon Z is actually currently invisible. And the reason reason it's like this, if you notice the Z on its name is lowercase, whereas it should actually be capitalized, so it's not actually finding a model file that matches its name, and that's why it's invisible. I think this happened because we used to have a bug where we could do something like spawn a Moltres, and the first few letters of its name would be capitalized if we capitalized them in the PokeSpawn statement. And so what we've done is we only allow the first letter to be capitalized, and then the rest are lowercase, which turns out Porygon Z is an exception to in the world of Pokemon. So that's another one of the things I'm going to have to fix. I'm going to have to write some special handling code to make sure that when Porygon Z spawns, it doesn't spawn without the proper name tag, or without the proper capitalization. So all kinds of bugs we're finding today. It's fixing Pokemon not learning moves before and after evolving. So what should happen is it should look to see if a Pokemon can learn a move when it levels up, then evolve it, and then after it's evolved, it should look again and see if it needs to learn a move on leveling up. So things like Kadabra, when they evolve from Abra, they should pick up a move the first level they evolve, but they're not doing that. So I actually have a great little test case in Klinkklang's line, because each one of these Pokemon in each evolution chain actually learn all the moves at exactly the same level. So all I have to do is wait until he's a high enough level to learn a move. So I can demonstrate what it looks like now. Come on. Okay, he learned... There's Bide. Oh, not evolving yet. So I need to cancel the evolution until he learns a move and evolves. Come on, Clink. You can evolve. I don't know exactly what level they're supposed to evolve at.
And I'm here sending out invitations to the Pixelmon livestream, which Ghost just got his invitation through TeamSpeak.
Yay!
You should totally click that, by the way, it looks pretty awesome.
Oh, okay, I'm currently testing the evolution level bug, where it doesn't actually evolve, after, or it doesn't check for learned moves after evolving. Oh, that's weird. It tried to evolve, then it checked for the move learn.
Are you actually videoing what you're doing, or are you just showing them what should happen and what doesn't happen?
I'm videoing what should happen, what shouldn't happen, and then showing it fixed.
Gotcha, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you saw right there, it tried to evolve, and then it tried to learn the move. Which was rather weird. I thought it was actually supposed to look first, and then it wasn't doing the second look, so... Anyway, that's what it's doing, and it should actually be doing it differently. So I'm going to go in, fix that up, and I'll be back and show you how it actually does work in 3.0. Alright, welcome back everybody. So, just a quick thing, it's a little bit off topic with the rest of these bugs. But look at this! I found an area with ice sheets, and all these Pokemon are actually spawning naturally on the ice. It's amazing. This is part of that, Pokespawn changes and stuff that we made, I showed off in the last few videos. I never got to show off the ice changes. So when you see you got Primplups and all these Swinubs and stuff, they're actually spawning out on the ice. It looks awesome. Oh, that's just exactly as intended. And so I just actually got done doing a whole ton of those bug fixes and stuff with that, so you actually might start seeing some new Pokemon spawning out here. Let's see. That's a Metapod, you're not new. Come on, let's find something for the viewers to see that's new. Oh, here we go. It's a Zorok? What is it? Zoroark? Zorak? I'm terrible at pronouncing these names, but you can see it, you can read the name. And it's one of the nighttime Pokemon that spawn over in the forest plains area. Oh, that's a trainer. It's like, that's a new looking Pokemon. And so I just wanted to show you that, pop in and show you that as I show off some of the other improvements. Oh yes, I was going to show off the fixes to the leveling code. So let me give myself a Abra level 15. Alright, and I need an EXP share. So basically what will happen with an Abra level 15 is before, what it used to do is give all of the experience, it would do all the levels up, and then it would turn into a Kadabra, if it passed the right level. And after it turned into a Kadabra, then it wouldn't learn any of the levels, any of the moves that would miss. So Kadabra should learn Confusion on turning level 16, because right after it evolves it gets a level. So now what it does is it adds experience, checks to see if it can learn a level, sees if it can evolve or not, and then if it evolves, it checks to see if the evolved Pokemon learns a move at that level, teaches it that, and then it keeps adding experience as it goes. So I'm going to try to find something I can actually kill relatively quickly with my Metagross here. I guess a Jinx will work just fine. Hit it with a Meteor Mash. Or I could just get... There we are. So, Abra has grown to level 16. Dun 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 dun! Abra's evolving! So it actually is stopping adding the experience for the other levels, letting the evolution take place. So now it is working exactly as it does in the Pixelmon, or not, the original Pokemon games. I'm so happy that it's finally doing it. And now, yep, so Kadabra just learned Confusion at 16, then it grew to 17, learned Disable, grew to 18, grew to 19, and there we go. So that is awesome. So now we have all those levels and all the Pokemon that learned something as they leveled up. Now we'll actually learn things. So that's one I wanted to showcase in this little clip, so I'm glad to have the opportunity to show you guys that. So yeah, welcome back to another Dev Diary. We've got Z Count, our master animator and musician, with us.
I'm not sure if I'd say master, but sure.
Well, you spent enough time on this, so we're going to showcase the Infernape model, who now has a special little walk run animation. Let me see if I can get him to do it. Yeah, look at that. And so if you want to talk a little bit about how long that took you, what you had to do, and go from there.
Cool. So this particular animation was me actually attempting something which I wasn't sure if it would actually work or not. But what we did is we took the Infernape model and we split all the limbs in two, and then I had to manually program every single rotation one by one. And so all of the animations on Infernape actually took me about 5 to 6 hours. So I just spent all of one night just working on it. And the run animation itself is actually 3 separate poses, which are little snapshots. And then it basically does a morph in between the two of them to make it look fairly smooth. And so, yeah, it was a lot of work, but I think I'm pretty happy with how it's come out. He's kind of doing like a cheetah run. Yeah, he's not actually walking like a monkey. He's more running like a cheetah, but I thought it kind of suited his model.
And I'm trying to get him to like pause so he goes through all of the standing phases, because you programmed in multiple ones of the resting.
Yeah,
poses.
he's got 3 separate poses when he stops, and he randomly cycles them. So every time he runs, when he stops, he'll come out as a different pose. So he's got the 2 poses, which are basically the official Pokemon one, and then there's another one which I put in the middle. And so he just mirrors down the middle. So sometimes he's got his like left arm up, and sometimes he's got his right arm up.
So what other things did you end up animating as well?
Oh, well, I also gave him a new tail animation, which is based on using segmented tails. So his tail is actually in 8 pieces, and the 8 pieces move in sync with each other. And so his tail not only goes up and down, but it also goes in and out. And so that's actually it's based on the serpent animations I did for Onyx and for Rayquaza.
Oh yeah, there it is twisting. That's a really good shot of it.
Mm. I mean, it does have a problem.
The little details most people playing
it goes into his head at the moment, which is a bit. So he sets his tail on fire every time his tail comes up. But
yeah, he's a fire type. He's immune to it.
Yeah. He'll handle it.
And then I don't know if we have. I think you also worked on the rest of his line as well.
I worked on Chimchar. I haven't done anything to Monferno. I'm still waiting to split a skeleton up before I can change that. But yeah, I gave Chimchar a couple of changes for his running animation, because before he just had his arms sticking out and it looked a little bit weird, and so now when he stops running, he actually brings his hands down. And just like Infernape, he actually has 3 separate poses. So depending on the way he was running beforehand will depend where his arms are when he stops moving.
Trying to get him to take one of the other poses. He seems to like one of them a little bit more than the others.
Yeah. Well, in theory, he's supposed to swap. It's not always so obvious because, yeah. I mean, one of the really annoying things about the Minecraft animation system is that rotations of the model aren't actually done properly. And so you've probably noticed that if you have a Pokemon and you walk around it, it won't actually turn completely to look at you. And so you've often seen Pokemon running sideways. That's because Minecraft hasn't done a sufficient rotation. There's actually nothing we can do about that without ripping out the entire animation system of Minecraft. But it's why sometimes you can't really tell these swaps just because the model's not sitting right. Okay. It's also why you'll really see it from Infernape. Sometimes he's running sideways and it looks really silly.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, I think they lost interest in the candy now.
You probably got too far away from them. I have noticed that depending on if you're floating or walking, sometimes the red candy doesn't actually attract them.
Yeah, I think they have. It's the same kind of thing that sheep eventually lose interest in as well. Also, I think this is might be the older version that I'm running right now, because I noticed Chimchar's leg was coming off while he was running.
Yeah, that still hasn't been fixed. We can thank Chase for that one. So what happened with that is that all of the segments of the model have what's called a rotation point, which is the point that the model rotates about. In the case of Chimchar, the rotation point for his left leg is in his thigh, but the rotation point for his right leg is on the sole of his foot. So his foot is actually rotating, the leg is rotating about the foot, not the foot about the leg. Which is why you can kind of see it, but
yeah, I'm trying to get him to really make it obvious.
Yeah, his leg comes off his skeleton. So yeah, that's still on the to fix list. we've still got quite a lot of stuff to do before 3.0 comes out, so I assume that probably will actually end up not happening. But yeah.
But yeah, so the animation just looks absolutely beautiful on Infernape. Like, that is... And so that was... How many lines of code and how many hours again?
So that was roughly 5 hours. I started coding that at about 6 o'clock at night, and I think it was 11:30 when I finally had it to the point where I liked it. That was of a lot of trial and error. I basically, when I was making the animation, I'd literally have the model in a static pose, and I'd be going back and forth between code, just doing like 2-degree shifts of a certain limb to try and get the limb in the exact point I need it. It gets harder that the way the limbs are set up is that the part of the arm beneath the elbow is attached to the shoulder. So if you rotate the shoulder, it then rotates the lower arm. So every time I had to correct the shoulder, I had to redo the rotations for the arm again. But yeah, it was I think it's about 400 lines of code now, just for Infernape.
So for those of you who don't often get to see exactly how much work goes into some of these little things in the mod, like these awesome animations, they take quite a bit of time. People are wondering always like, why can't the beta come out today? Well, it does take quite a bit of time.
Of course, the other one people always say, oh, why can't we have battle animations? And the problem with battle animations is that you can't really make a generic one for every single Pokemon. And as hard as it is to do just pose animations, model animations are a lot worse because you have to take into account that Pokemon can be at different heights or that Pokemon have different sizes. And then you get the problem that you can't do flame effects properly inside of Minecraft, and you can't really do water effects. And so if we want to do water gun, it's actually going to be quite complex to try and pull it off.
And so what do we have looking ahead as far as models and animations maybe in future releases, so past 3.0?
Well, the really big thing we've got coming up is that we have one of our coders called Zora Kirby is just figured out how to get SMD models to work. So SMD models are the models that the source filmmaker uses. The reason this is really cool is, one, it means we can actually rig models properly as in a full animation studio. But the other cool things is that we can actually make models which deform. So the best way to show this is if you look at the Infernape model right now, if you like zoom in on his elbow, you'll notice that his elbow actually separates from his arm when it rotates down. That's because his model is just solid chunks, and so all I'm doing is rotating them away from each other. So with model deformation, what will actually happen is that there won't be any holes in his model when he animates.
So it'll just be more smooth arms.
Yes, and also it means we can actually give him a flame effect for his hair. Like his hair could actually ripple, and so there's a lot of really cool stuff we could do with it. It also potentially will make animations easier because we can make animations in a program like Maya, and then what will happen is you basically make a video file, and then you just tell code that from 1 second to 2 seconds of this video is what happens when this Pokemon is running, and then 2 seconds to 3 seconds is his idle pose.
Oh, very nice.
So this is still very much work in progress. I think the only Pokemon we have with this is Ferlasis, and I don't think Ferlasis is actually going to be in this update. I believe that we broke Mr. M and I. We updated the animation system to do with these things called animation counters, but in the process of that, I think we broke the SMD launcher. So I suspect it won't let you. Yeah, I think we removed it from the enum because it was just broken.
Oh, I was wondering that because I showed that off in one of my earlier Dev Diary videos because I love Ghost Ice type. It's such a great combination. Oh, that's kind of sad that that's not going to be in the update.
It'll be there. It's just I think we've got to the point with 3.0 where there's a lot of stuff that we want to fix, such as going to 1.7. But at the same time, we just need to get this update out there. Because if we don't do it, this update's just going to take forever. So we're just kind of focusing on, we've got a core set of features, so we just want these features done. And then once 3.0 is out, going forward into the future, we'll start bringing in these new features. It's also why breeding isn't in this update. I mean, we've done a lot of work on breeding, but it's still not ready.
Okay. Well, I think that is just about everything we wanted to cover. So that was Z Count, our head musician and animation. I gotta say, you gotta be the head animation, master animation.
Yeah, there's me and Darren. Darren just uses my animations, I guess, and there's Zora kind of, but yeah, Zora's kind of off doing his own thing.
And how many new music tracks can we expect in the new version? I haven't had the chance to.
Just one. I had been hoping that I'd do two, but unfortunately, a lot of our stuff sort of came up, such as Infernape taking an entire day, and so I have got plans for a second track, but I don't think it'll be done by the update.
And I'll
But there's
have
definitely one new track.
and I'll have Z-Count's channel linked down below, and he's going to be doing a like a music video kind of thing.
Yeah, oh, there'll be
Showcasing
I'll
the
be
new track.
uploading once my artist finishes doing the track out for it, I'll be uploading it. So I can tell you that this piece of music is for the Extreme Hills biome, and so it's a sort of Celtic-y, Irishy inspired piece, and I think it sounds pretty good. So people have been enjoying it from who I've played it to. So.
All right, well, there you go, guys, everybody, and I'll be back on another Dev Diary or another clip of the Dev Diary in a little bit.
Yep.